On this video, I'm going to show you one of the easiest way to upgrade the quality on your dash cam by adding this little add-on. Now, this little guy can improve the video quality because it's going to cut out any of those unnecessary reflections that are coming from the windshield, and it's going to help to see through glass. Now, this little guy was originally meant for the Blue Sky C B4K dash cam. However, because of its shape and because of its size, we can potentially use in other dash cams as well. Now, before I get started with the video, I'd like to remind you that I have placed a link in the description down below to this little guy, which is called a Polarizing Filter, in case you want to get one for your dash cam. And some dash cams do offer the option to purchase an additional polarizing filter to be installed in front of the dash cam and help to cut down any glare or reflections. But unfortunately, the polarizer filter option is not that common out there. I don't see it very often. And there is no universal polarizing filters for dash cams because dash cams vary tremendously in terms of its size and shape. So I looked at my dash cam collection to see if any of them offer a polarizing filter option. And what do you know? The Blue Sky C B4K does have that option. So I could use this on that dash cam, or I could attempt to use this in other dash cams as well. Well, let's talk about the polarizing filter and how it works. This is really just a piece of glass that filters the light as it comes in and only allows a certain type of light to go through, which means it allows us to filter out the light that we do not want. In this case, it will be the light of reflections or glare. Well, let's talk about mounting the polarizing filter. If we take a look at the inside of the filter, you can see that there are two sticky pads that are going to allow this thing to stick to the dash cam. The idea would be that this will slide over the dash cam lens and those sticky pads are going to hold the filter in place. And looking at the outside of the filter, there are two orientation arrows, and the B4K manual says that those arrows should be pointing up and one should be pointing down. And what that is the direction of the filter. You'll notice that as this filter gets placed on top of the dash cam, if we rotate the filter, we can start to see those reflections increase or decrease. So turning the filter until we find the best spot where we can eliminate most of the reflections and then securing that in place will provide us with the best results. However, like I mentioned, the most common position is gonna be with one arrow pointing up and the other arrow pointing down. Now, there are some downsides to it. Now, this filter, as you can see, while it looks clear, it's actually a little bit dark. It's almost like a dark glass. And that means that when this is installed over a dash cam lens, it is going to reduce the amount of light that goes into the dash cam, and it's going to reduce that light by a few f-stops, and that is the amount of light that is going in, so the image can potentially look darker. Now, this may not be a problem during the day, but at night it may affect the video quality. That means that we potentially have to take this off every time it gets dark and then put it back on during the day. So that is actually another reason why I don't think these things have become so popular. But the polarizing effect of cutting to glare or reflection works not only during the day, it also works for reflections at night. So it could potentially be beneficial to leave this on all the time. So what I did a little test drive, and I'm gonna show you how it looks in the day with polarizing filter and without the polarizing filter, so you can see if it makes sense to upgrade to one of these things in your dash cam. And then I'll repeat that same test at night, driving with the filter and without the filter, so we can see how much does it affect the video quality in terms of its brightness or darkness. And on the left hand side, we have video with the polarizer on, and on the right hand side, we have video without the polarizer. Right away, you can see how the reflection from the dash is eliminated on the left hand side, while the reflection is quite strong on the right hand side, which does not have the polarizer. But also notice the colors. We get richer colors on the polarized side. There's increased contrast versus the non-polarized side on the right hand side. The colors look a little bit more flat, but primarily the polarizer is really going to help to cut down those reflections so we can see the video out through the windshield clearly. And during the day, I think it makes a huge difference. But now let's look at it during the night. You can see on here that there is no such reflection from the dash normally unless there is a strong light hitting the dash, but you can see also that the video doesn't lose a lot of quality. The brightness looks just about the same. Mind you, this video was taken one after another, back to back, so the camera is is able to adjust for that little darkness that the filter introduces, and it kind of increases exposure to compensate for it. Now, if you do want to see these videos in full size separately, just so you can compare them without seeing them side by side, stick around to the end of the video so you can see those in full screen. I think it's definitely worth it to add a polarizer to a dash cam. But now that you've seen the test drive footage, let me show you how I mounted this to my dash cam and how you can tell if this is gonna fit your dash cam or not before you place an order for it. And here's my mirror dash cam, which happens to be the Auto-vox G840, but the process should work as well for other mirror dash cams that have this style of front lens. Here is the polarizing filter, and if you recall, we have those sticky pads on the interior, so I could place the filter directly on top of the lens and then gently press on that sticky pad against the lens itself, and that has effectively secured it. Now, as you can see, the filter is slightly larger to the lens, so we do have a little bit of room on here, and we also can turn it to find that position we want and then press down to secure it on here. Now, if you do want to secure this additionally, more than what those little sticky pads are inside do, I do highly recommend the use of high strength, high temperature double-sided tape. Cutting a little strip of that tape and placing it on the interior surface just where that sticky tape would be is gonna secure this very good to the dash cam, because this little tape may not be enough to hold it during high heat or if there is a lot of vibrations. Now, if you guys need the tape, I'll put a link to that in the description down below. And the same process can be used by mirror dash cams that have a detached camera like my Auto-vox G700 or the Auto-vox G880. Here I have the polarizing filter, and this is the front camera, and I could take that filter and attach that filter to the camera in the same way as I did before. But I also want to show you that the polarizing filter may potentially work for other dash cams as well that have a different shape of lens. This is the Red Tiger F7N, and as you can see, I can take this filter and place this on the top. Now, this is not going to directly mount like the mirror dash cam. It might not look as pretty, but this can potentially be attached using high temperature tape, and one little turn of that high temperature rated tape should be enough to secure this to the dash cam and allow this to function. If you guys want to get a hold of that high temperature tape, I'll put a link to that in the description down below. But I also want to show you the dimensions of the filter so you can determine if the filter will slide over the lens or if the filter is going to have to sit on front of the lens like on the Red Tiger F7N. And the filter measures 27.5 millimeters, which is equivalent to about 1 inch on the outside. But now let's look at the more critical dimension, which is the inside dimension. It measures 25.2 millimeters, which is equivalent to about 0.993 inches. So hopefully this video helped you decide if a polarizing filter is right for you or not. In my personal opinion, while I did see the video get slightly darker, I think the benefits of having a polarizing filter outweigh the negatives. Now, I do wish we had a polarizing filter that quickly will pop off and then quickly would pop back on. Perhaps a magnetic polarizing filter would be a neat idea for a manufacturer to implement. And this will be helpful for anybody who wants to have the filter on during the day, but wants to take it off during the night. So if you guys want to get a polarizing filter for your dashcam, remember I put a link to this filter in the description down below, and I also place links in the description to other polarizing filters for other dashcams that I have found as well. And if you have any other questions regarding the polarizing filter and how it works, please put that in the comments down below, and stay tuned as I have a lot more dashcam videos coming up. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.